welcome back to the All My Love Lucy podcast. We're so glad you're with us for episode number 28.
28?
That's crazy.
I know. Thank you all for joining us as always. We thank you so much for all your love and support, and thanks for just sharing our videos and spreading the word to your friends.
Absolutely. And if you're a first-time listener, we always like to remind you, go back and start with episode number 1. We do always want to say, though, be patient with us. We're amateur podcasters, whatever. So give us some time to get comfortable in front of the camera and not be so crazy scripted. We've gone back and watched some of those, and we have evolved a little, so just give us a minute. But the story is great, so overlook us and listen to the story. It's a great story. Go back to episode number 1 so you won't miss any of the information we shared so far, because this podcast is more like a series, and you'll understand things a lot better by going back to the beginning. And don't forget, last time we offered a challenge to submit love letters to us for our 30th episode celebration coming up. We need those before next episode. So this week we need you to be submitting those. If you haven't already, submit those love letters. They can be love letters you've written, love letters you've made up, love letters you found somewhere in a box like we have. And you can remain completely anonymous. You do not have to. If you can let us know that you don't want your name attached to it or don't want your family's name attached to it, however. So just let us know. And we are looking forward to that.
And as always, we will have an uninterrupted reading of the letter at the end of every episode.
And so let's get started with letter number 28.
September 10th, 1944. My darling Jimmy, I received your lovely letter yesterday evening when I returned from the pictures when I saw Rita Hayworth in CoverGirl. It was a good film, but I was all by myself and I wish you could have been with me.
So I'm guessing you probably haven't seen this movie, have you?
I can't say I have, no.
I started watching it. I did not finish it, but it seems like it's pretty entertaining. It's an American musical comedy about a chorus girl who is given a chance at stardom when she's offered an opportunity to be a highly paid cover girl.
Oh.
So it's got a little bit of humor in it, and it's music, all that. So I do want to finish watching it. It's called Cover Girl with Rita Hayworth and Gene Kelly, I believe. So we need to get together and watch these movies that she watched.
We should have a movie night.
Yeah, we should.
That would be fun.
And talk about them. Yeah. So watch it, and maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yes, darling, it would have been fun if you could have been locked in the office with me, and I should have been in no hurry to get out.
I'm clueless.
The office of the pictures? Where?
I don't know. I'm guessing maybe she got locked in the office at work. You think?
Yeah.
Maybe she was telling him, or let's see. It would have been fun if you could have been locked in the office with me.
It's just right after where she said she went to the picture, so...
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But she's saying, yes, darling, it would have been... So she's responding to him. Something he said.
Okay, yeah.
So I wonder if he was locked in the office somewhere.
Could be.
And he was saying it would have been fun if she would have been locked in there with him. Oh,
maybe.
I wish we could find his letters so we could know what he's saying. Yeah, it sounds like maybe she's responding to something he said about getting locked in an office somewhere.
She goes on to say, well, sweetheart, I did find it too much for me to work 2 evenings a week as well as fire watch 1 evening. So for the time being, I have cut the former out, and besides, I wanted to have more time to write to my darling boy and not always be worrying him about being so tired.
So we talked about her being exhausted before. She's working a regular job full time. She's working 2 nights a week at some other office, transcribing or something like that. And then she's fire watching as well. So she's been exhausted and it's catching up to her. We've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there. But so she's cutting out, apparently it sounds like she's cutting out her second job of working 2 evenings, because that would have been the former, what she's saying here. I did it too much That's what it sounds like to me.
Mm-hmm.
You agree? That's
Yeah.
what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So she probably still has to fire watch. That's probably not an option because we talked about it being compulsory at this point.
Yeah.
And she's not going to quit her full-time job. So she's probably not going to be doing that extra for her bottom drawer.
Today I am lunching with my sister at 52 Pall Mall, where she works as an assistant housekeeper at the RN Officers Club.
So this is so interesting. I'm so excited to talk about this. This is about Daisy, Lucy's sister, and so now we have some insight into what she did for a living and where she worked. And it's interesting because I do have a letter from her with a return address as it's a different address, but when I researched this, it turns out that the Officers Club here moved to the location. Anyway, that's a long story. But she worked as a housekeeper at the RN Officers Club, and it was temporarily at 52 Pall Mall, which is a street in England. And in 1944, there were bombings going on, and so they had to move the Officers Club here for a little while. So I'm guessing that she was a housekeeper for the Officers Club wherever they went, because I do show, like I said, I show her writing from another location where the Officers Club was. And I've looked up, and from what I gather, the housekeepers could like have boarding there somewhere. Makes me think of like the Biltmore House.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the servants' quarters were there on location.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if she lived there or not. It's not real clear. But the RN, the Royal Navy's Officers Club, was a private club that provided a social and recreational space for naval officers to relax, socialize, and network. So it's a pretty fancy schmancy place for all these Royal Navy officers to have it's like private place to unwind. And she was an assistant housekeeper there. Okay, so here Lucy says, this was what was kind of interesting to me. She says she was lunching with her sister at 52 Pall Mall. And when I did a little bit of digging, as much digging as I could, because it was only at that location for a short amount of time. So it was kind of hard to find a good bit of information about it. I did have some help, but from a lady in one of the Facebook group, and she helped me find some information. But anyway, so it says she went to lunch there, but it was highly unlikely, from what I can find, that a housekeeper would have been able to invite a family member there and actually eat there at the Officers Club. So I'm guessing she probably met her there and then they ate somewhere close by.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like they ate at the club, and they may have. It could have been that she had a special privilege or something. I don't know. But it would have been highly unlikely that her social hierarchy or whatever would have allowed for her to eat in that private club for the officers. So I found that interesting. So the building there, the 52 Pall Mall, is still there. It's still a notable example of the architecture of that time period. It's still, like I said, I'll put some pictures up. And it's Pall Mall, that street there, is one of London's most historically significant streets, and many of the buildings along it were constructed in the 18th and 19th centuries. A lot of history there. And 52 Pall Mall retains its classic Georgian style and remains an important part of the city's architectural heritage. So I thought that was a really fun fact about Daisy, that she worked there.
Mm-hmm.
And that I don't know if they ate lunch there, but Lucy at least met her there at the Royal Navy Officers Club.
Wow.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Fun to know about her. And I do have confirmation that she moved with the Officers Club when it went to 38 Hill Street. She was there as well. So she must have been a pretty permanent employee there in the housekeeping department.
Tuesday evening I shall be fire watching, and if I can get a moment to myself, I will write to you then. Well, darling, I am longing to be in your arms again, and I don't think it will be very long before we shall be together for always.
Little does she know, it's September of 1944. They unknowingly will be apart for another year and 7 months.
Wow.
She still has a whole year, over a year and a half left to be apart from him.
Sweetheart, I have not been kissed for 4 months, so I hope you are like the squirrel saving his nuts, as I could do with everyone, not nuts, this very moment.
Don't ask me, I have no idea. I thought that was hilarious, how she worded that.
She goes on to say, I am so proud of my darling and all he is doing, and I love you more than I can tell you with words. So hurry up and come home to your Lucy. P.S. Be sure and take great care of yourself, my precious, and God bless.
So we continue on this journey with Lucy and Jimmy, and next time the letter is written on Jimmy's birthday, and we have the birthday card that Lucy sent to him, and we'll show it then, and we'll talk more about exactly what Jimmy is up to in the next couple of episodes. Also, don't forget to send us those love letters. I know we mentioned it in the beginning, but we're going to be reading them and voting on them the next episode, so be sure and send them to us ASAP, and don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. Like I said, there's still over a year and a half worth of letters that we have yet to uncover, so we have a lot of great information still to come your way.
So make sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channels, share with all your friends, give us a comment. Our email is always open at allmylovelucy@gmail.com if you want to contact us, have any questions, insights of anything that we have talked about so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially some of these things that we aren't really sure. If you know, we would love for you to help us out and tell us, or even if you enjoy researching things and you want to take it upon yourself to go and search some of these things we're talking about that we aren't real clear on, we would love to hear from you. And as promised, we're going to end the episode with an uninterrupted reading of the letter. So until next time, enjoy.
September 10th, 1944. My darling Jimmy, I received your lovely letter yesterday evening when I returned from the pictures, where I saw Rita Hayworth in CoverGirl. It was a good film, but I was all by myself and wished you could have been with me. Yes, darling, it would have been fine if you could have been locked in the office with me, and I should have been in no hurry to get out. Well, sweetheart, I did find it too much for me to work 2 evenings a week, as well as fire watch 1 evening, so for the time being I have cut the former out. And besides, I wanted to have more time to write to my darling boy and not always be worrying him about being so tired. Today, I am lunching with my sister at 52 Pall Mall, where she works as assistant housekeeper at the Aryan Officers Club. Tuesday evening, I shall be fire watching, and if I can get a moment to myself, I will write to you then. Well, darling, I'm longing to be in your arms again, and I don't think it will be very long before we shall be together for always. Sweetheart, I have not been kissed for 4 months, so I hope you're like the squirrel saving his nuts, as I could do with everyone, not nuts, this very moment. I'm so proud of my darling and all he is doing, and I love you more than I can tell you with words, so hurry up and come home to your Lucy. P.S. Be sure and take great care of yourself, my precious, and God bless.